I think I need to move out of the house after Dad requested I pay $1,000 a month in rent. I just made this today. I don't want it on my main account. I, 23F, live at home with my dad, mom, and younger brother, and I also work from home. So here is the short version. I work for a pharmaceutical company as a data analyst and, hopefully, soon to be a data scientist once I finish some certifications. I have worked at this company for 3.5 years. I started as an intern, and once I finished my degree, I was given a full-time position. My parents' deal for me to live at home as an adult was to always contribute to the household, so we came up with what contributions to make sure there weren't any discrepancies. 1. Pay the electric bill because I am home the most, roughly $200 a month during the winter and $350 during the summer. Texas. 2. I opted to pay for the water, $150, gas, $50 to $80, and internet, $100. 3. My mother added that I should drive my brother around at reasonable requests, so I usually pick him up after school from practice. He plays like a million sports and is in a trillion clubs. This is until he can get a car. I also drive him to places if I can. 4. I pay for my own cell phone, car insurance, and subscriptions. 5. I still have chores, including cooking, cleaning, etc., and so does my brother. Well, my dad came to me last week and asked that I start paying $500 a month in rent. Cheap, yes, I know, because he doesn't think I contribute enough to the house. This rubbed me the wrong way because I feel that I do. I know $500 is cheap, and I won't get anything cheaper out there, but that will mean I will be paying $1,000 a month to live at home. So I said that if I am going to start giving cash for living at home, then I am a tenant, not a family member contributing to the house. If I am going to pay rent, then I want a lease. I want to be able to come and go as I please. I don't want to pay the monthly bills because then they should be covered in my rent, and the obligation of driving my brother around should also go out the window. He is my brother, and I will always accommodate him because we get along, but that's not the point. He got upset and said I was being petty and not thinking clearly. He also said that if I leave, I will not be allowed back when I realize the real world is harder than $500 a month and, when I fall on my ass, he will not help me. I looked around, and I can get a studio apartment or a one-bedroom for $1,200, and I get my own space and privacy, and will more than likely not spend too much more money. I would save on the utilities alone, so it wouldn't be that much more expensive, and I can get my desk out of my room. He has been ignoring me for the past week until today. My mom asked me to take the day off to discuss this, and she didn't want my brother home because she didn't want him to see us arguing, which is weird because why would we be arguing instead of discussing it? My mom tried to negotiate that I don't pay utilities and that my rent is $750 a month, but I still had to do chores and keep the same routine with my brother. Also, the house rules would be no noise or company past 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and midnight on Friday and Saturday unless requested ahead of time. Absolutely no men could spend the night or be in my room, which is weird because this was never an issue. My dad stayed quiet the entire time, but I could tell that he was bothered. I said that wouldn't work because I spend money on gas to drive my brother everywhere, and I don't want it to be a rule of my tenancy to be my brother's chauffeur. That's when my dad blew up and called me selfish. He said he is just trying to teach me responsibility and accountability and that me harping over giving them money just shows that I am not part of the family and want to be an outsider because I should want to help. I argued that me paying over $500 a month in bills, spending gas driving my brother around, and doing chores should be enough to show how unselfish I am. But if it is necessary for him to receive payment from me, then I will pay the $500 and none of the bills, and I will gladly drive my brother around. My mom argued that $750 was reasonable, and I said, no, it's not if you still want me to live here like a teenager. Dad said $500, so that $500 should cover everything. My dad stormed off, and my mother said I am treating this like a business negotiation and that she is disappointed in me because my dad only said $500 because I was paying the other bills. She said my only wanting to pay $500 all-inclusive is a low blow, and that renting is a waste of money. They would feel better if I moved into a home that I purchased. Like what? I am not ready for that level of commitment. It's not the money, but that is a major purchase, and now I feel like the trust I had with them is fractured. Before anyone asks, I don't know if they are in financial distress. My mom is an MRI tech, and my dad is a pipe fitter. Also, if my parents were in financial distress, I would help them 100%. I went to school here in the city, and I have been saving 60% of my salary for the past 3.5 years. The other 40% went toward my car, which I paid off, and my student loans, of which I only have $25,000 left. Update, so it's 5:45 right now, and my dad is getting the full exposure of driving around my brother. My mom and I had a conversation about what happened, which solidified that living here will just end up leading to us having a horrible relationship. My dad, as previously mentioned, is a pipe fitter in the union. Sometimes he has to travel for work, but not all the time, and he works long hours, so he doesn't see everything that happens. Now to the update. 3 years ago, when I went from intern to full-time, I was making $62,000 a year at entry level, and that was generous because they already knew my work. Last year, a position opened up and I was offered the promotion, now making $82,000 a year with quarterly bonuses up to 10%. I have never received the full 10% because I didn't see the value of working 60 hours for an extra paycheck a month. Last week, my dad was home more than usual and just saw me holed up in my room doing nothing, just staring at a computer and watching Netflix. Well, I had Grey's Anatomy running in the background, but I always shut it off when I am in meetings, and it's just comforting to hear other voices in the house when you are alone all the time. When I left to pick up my brother, my dad walked into my room and saw my W-2 and that my gross income last year was $78,000, promotion money included. He asked my mom how much I am contributing to the house, and she said, well, she doesn't give any money. That was enough for him to say I wasn't contributing, with no follow-up questions. He also forgot that I was paying the utilities. Why? Because my mom handles all the bills. When he told me I had to pay because I am not contributing enough, he thought I was just picking up my brother, doing chores, and cooking twice a week for dinner. So when I pushed back, saying I pay bills, pick up my brother, drive him around 3 to 4 times a week between 4 to 7, give him money when he is short for food, and take him out to eat during outings, plus everything else, he got flustered and thought I was exaggerating and doubled down. The silent treatment for the whole week continued while he was asking my mom and brother to validate him, and when they did, he got even more mad that he didn't know all this, because it's apparently my fault for not announcing it to the world. During the first conversation about the $750 and driving my brother around, my mom said I was being selfish because she knew it would fall on her and involve teaching him to drive. But I explained he knows how to drive, he went to driving school and has a learner's permit. So when he is with me, I do let him drive to get comfortable. She didn't realize that he completed his courses, which again is weird to me because she literally signed him up. Even with all this, my dad's biggest issue is that I no longer need them, which is not true. You always need your parents. But after this back and forth, and reading a lot of the comments, and me saying my dad has quirks or shuts down, I just came to realize he and I trigger each other so much. He and I will get into a screaming match because he refuses to admit he is wrong, and I refuse to let him walk all over me. But I know how to apologize as well. He doesn't. He will just pretend like it didn't happen. This is just not going to work out. She finally agreed to it and will speak to my dad because it will just continue to escalate. I did offer for them to come and walk some apartments with me so they feel involved, and my mom said yes, but she will see what my dad will say because he doesn't want me to move out and is really upset that I won't back down from that. But I honestly don't see us coming back from what happened this past week and today. I know it will just escalate. I haven't even addressed why he was in my room and looking through my stuff to see my W-2s. Right now, my dad is getting frustrated driving around just to wait on my brother and then drive again in high traffic times, which has been my life for 3 years. The only difference is that when I took on that role and responsibility, my brother was only 13 years old, so he didn't have many extracurriculars. My mom knew, but she was happy with the arrangement because she didn't have to deal with it. She also apologized for her role in saying I was trying to negotiate, because she understands that I do a lot for my brother and that will fall on them at least until he gets his license. Once I move out, depending on where I go, I wouldn't mind helping out and driving him around maybe once or twice a week because I do enjoy spending time with him, and so do my friends. Once a week after one of his activities, we go to Chili's and eat and hang out with my friends, and I know I would miss him too much if I just stopped being around him. There are so many times we just sit in the car, eat and laugh or gossip. But hopefully we find something this weekend and I can move within the next month. Hopefully my dad and I will be on speaking terms by the time I move out. I'm going to step away and go get dinner with my friends and just get it off my mind. Final update. Hello. I am not sure where to post this, so I will just keep it on my page. If anyone finds this or is following, then you can have your update. If it goes into the void, that is okay because it will be therapeutic. Apartment update. I moved out. I went apartment hunting at first with my mom to look at apartments nearby, and I hated every single one of them. The next day, I went further into the city where it is better for young people, and those were too expensive for fake luxury. After the first few dead ends, my friend's mom put me in contact with a realtor friend who helped me find the perfect spot. It is a 2-bedroom townhouse close to places I want to be, in a nice neighborhood. I pay $1,300 a month for 1,200 square feet. It has a community pool, tennis court, park, and is close to some walking trails. It is mostly young families since they are townhomes, so I do not feel out of place. I love this place so much and the area. I also love decorating my place, picking out furniture, and going thrifting. The girls come over, and we can have girl dinner, wine, and binge watch shows without interruptions. I love that the bedrooms are upstairs, so it separates my work and life. Having a second bedroom that is an office/guest room has been the best thing ever. I did buy a pull-out couch because I anticipated my brother would spend the night, but it has been so great to be able to walk out of that room, close the door, and not think about work. Speaking of work, I have done so much better at work because I am not looking at the clock to go pick up my brother or run errands, and it has been noticed at work. I mentioned before that I do not want to work 60 hours a week for an extra paycheck to hit all the KPIs, but honestly, moving out of my house and leaving the stress helped me reach all my weekly KPIs without working more hours than usual. Getting to places to eat is so close. If there were not a serial killer killing people in the bayou, I would definitely be out there more. Brother update. Well, this is where things went sideways. My father was not there when I moved out because he was still giving me the cold shoulder. Since moving out, and now that it is summer, my mom had to change her schedule to get off in time to take my brother around, but he was home all day by himself. That really affected him, and he ended up having a panic attack. He called me for help, and then I sent the bat signal to my grandparents and parents. Since I now live about 20 to 30 minutes away, I worried I would not get there in time. Time for what? I do not know, but I have never heard my brother like that before, and I was scared. Somehow, I got to my brother in 15 minutes, and I am sure I broke many traffic laws. By the time I got there, my mom and grandparents were there, and he locked himself in the bathroom. It took a while to get him to open the door. In the morning, my brother was finally able to express himself. He said he felt trapped and alone, and that no one noticed him except me. I did not realize how much he depended on me. He said it started during COVID. Since my mom was picking up extra shifts at the hospital for extra money, she isolated herself at a hotel. My dad went to the oil fields to earn extra money since everything was shut down. It was just me, my brother, and my grandma. Our grandma on my dad's side does not speak much English, so we went from an English-speaking house to mostly Spanish. My brother was an Osebo kid, but he picked up enough for conversation. That alone made me the only person he felt comfortable talking to. Then he had online school, and I was the only one who could help him with homework, so I kind of became more than a big sister. He feels like our parents are strangers forcing conversations with him. Then his worst fear happened. Mom and Dad asked him to give up some of his activities because they could not manage work and his schedule or find rides or start taking Lyft, all this through text, because Mom could not get off work in time and Dad was on site somewhere, and at the time our grandparents were grocery shopping. He said during COVID he felt so trapped that when everything was lifted, he just wanted to be outside all the time and not stuck inside again. He did not want to feel like that again, and that is why he started joining every activity he could. I just figured he was an active kid, not that he was running from lockdown. He is staying with me for the summer until he can get his license and has become my neighborhood dog walker for money and to get outside and meet people. He really needs human interaction. He is also going to start therapy, and his first session is in a few weeks. I did start putting boundaries on my brother about him going places and needing me to take him everywhere. He really does need to take Lyft, Uber, or whatever. If I can drive him, I will. I am his sister, not his mother, and we definitely let that sibling line blur into codependency. I'm also to blame because I did not realize it sooner, but again, I really do like hanging out with my brother. I never thought he saw me as the only trusted adult. Since he is not driving, he did give up a lot of summer activities, but he likes the area. There are kids his age, and being a dog walker means he is getting attention. Plus, it does not help that we are so close to the Galleria Mall, which he and his friends are spending a lot of their time at. Parents update. Well, after those updates, my parents and I sat down for a conversation. My dad finally apologized for how everything happened, and my mom apologized for her role as well. I did not apologize. I do not feel like I had anything to apologize for other than to my brother for letting it get this far. All of this is a lot for my dad, and he would like space to figure out what to do, which feels like a deflection. It ended on neutral ground that they need to do better and I need to step back, yet my brother is staying with me, so there will be no real change. My brother will get his license, get a car, and they will never see him because he will stay out of the house as much as possible. I told them that, and my dad kind of waved it off, but you could tell it got to my mother. From my understanding from pieces of what my mom says and my grandparents, my parents are not doing well. They are fighting, my dad is being stubborn, and they are blaming each other for us not being in the house. I do not know if divorce is happening, but I do know they have never fought like this before. My dad thinks everything will go back to normal once my brother is in school again. My mom thinks she lost her children. She comes by a few times a week and is really trying with my brother, taking him out and spending time with him. My dad, well, he thinks my brother helping him in the yard or doing stuff around the house is enough to get back on track.